All right, fantastic. Welcome to Coffee with Markus. Now again on YouTube. Yes, I know that we're experimenting with a few things, but we have lots to talk about today. So, as you know, we'll talk a lot about your questions. I'm also reviewing some of your trades because, as you know, in Mighty Networks, many of you are posting your trades. So, I want to give you some feedback, and I've prepared a few things for you because one of the questions is what is this 90% rule about when do we exit trades? And why are we exiting a trade, a put at 90% profit? What does this mean? So, we will talk about this today in detail. Okay. I just realized that I haven't checked yet my microphone to make sure that I'm using the correct one. And I do. So this should be sounding good. Okay. So good to see everybody here. And I see all of the comments. And now it is much easier for me to also bring the comments on the screen. So, as I said, Coffee with Markus, different format here, but back on YouTube. So, before we get started, I know that often you have lots of comments and questions, and we'll get to these, we'll get to this, but I want to talk about the 90% rule here first. And in order to do this, I'm going to switch to this layout here for a moment because I have prepared a few things for you, and we're going to go through this, and same as last time. This is a segment that Lyle, our editor, will cut out, and then we'll make this publicly available on YouTube because it will be a shorter segment. And after that, we're going to hang out. The reason why I'm now doing the segment first is last time I realized I ran completely out of time since we are chatting here so nicely together and I was answering your questions. So I thought this time we try differently, where first I'm doing what I wanted to cover with you because I saw a lot of questions around this in Mighty Networks, and then we'll review a few of the positions, your trades, and go to your questions. How does that sound? Sound like a plan? Good. All right. That's what I thought. So let me do this here, and then we will talk about this. All right, let's talk about the wheel strategy and when to exit trades, because this is a question that I often receive. I mean, should we roll our positions? Should we close our options early, or should we just wait until expiration? And so just reviewing very quickly the wheel strategy, as you know, it's just 3 simple steps. Step number 1, you sell puts and collect premium. Step number 2, you might or might not get assigned. If you're not getting assigned, you start over and go to step number 1. If you do get assigned, you move on to step number 3. And step number 3 is that we are selling calls and collecting premium. If you're new to the wheel strategy, I'll link to a video in the description where I explain the wheel strategy in 15 minutes, so you can take a look at this. So the key question is right now, does it make sense to close a trade before expiration? And in order to do this, I want to show you a very specific example of a trade that I have going on right now. So on April 1st, 2022, here's what I did. I sold AMD, the 98 put, expiring on 4/8, so on April 8th, and I did that for 75 cents. So if you're hopping over here to PowerX Optimizer and look at the trade, so this is what I saw on April 1st. By the way, today, as I'm recording it, it is April 4th. So I did this on Friday, and today is Monday. So I did this for $775 per contract. And if you look at the calculator here, according to the calculator, zooming in here a little bit that you can see it easier. Based on my account size, I should sell 10 contracts. So this gives me $750 in premium. So let's go back here for $75. So that's $750 in premium. Now here is the important thing. It's a concept that I've been mentioning in my book, The Wheel Strategy, and this is the concept of the premium per day. So what is this? What does this mean? Well, as we entered this trade, we basically had 7 days to expiration. So we're taking the total premium of $750 and dividing it by 7 days that we had on expiration here when we entered it on April 1st. And this gives us, using our handy dandy calculator here, So we take 750 divided by 7 and we arrive at $107.14. So let's keep it easy. We are doing this at $170. So what does all of this has to do with, does it make sense to close the trade before expiration? Well, let's take a look at today. And again, today is April 4th, so it is Monday. We entered this trade on Friday. So looking at AMD, so here's the options chain of AMD. And if you just look at this here on a chart first, we see that from Friday on, we actually moved higher today. We opened higher, we moved a little bit lower, but now we are definitely, it seems that we are closing higher. So as you can see here, AMD is up from Friday 2.2%. So looking at the 98 put that I sold, we see that right now the last traded price is 12 cents. So let's talk about this. So we're going back here. And so the last traded price for this option is 12 cents. So let's say if I'm buying back this put that I sold for 75 cents today for 12 cents. What does this mean? Okay, so we sold it for 75 cents. And now we are buying it back today for 12 cents. So this means that our profit would be 63 cents, or times 10 contracts, this would be $630. So right now the trade was only open 3 days. I established it on Friday, and then we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So this is where we go back to the idea of the premium per day. We can abbreviate it as PPD. So here the premium per day would be $630 divided by 3 days that I had it open. So planned, this is what we had planned, right? And this is what I've realized right now after 3 days. So we take the $630, 630 divided by 3, and that's $210. That's almost twice as much. So what are the pros and cons of exiting today? And let's just see. So 12 cents divided by the originally 75 cents that received. So this is how much of the maximum profit? 12 divided by 75. So that's actually a healthy 84%. So that's 84% of the max profit. But let's talk about the pros of closing today. First, I'm actually collecting much more per day as I have anticipated. So I'm collecting $210 per day instead of the $170 that was planned. Number two, I'm freeing up buying power. Why? Well, because when I'm trading 10 contracts here at a strike price of 98, so this would be $98,000 that I'm tying up in this trade in buying power right now. So I would have this free, and also I'm freeing up one position in my account. And you know that for me personally, I like to trade up to 5 different positions in my account here. So right now I have 3 positions. I have AMD, DB, and TPR in this Tradier account. In the Tastyworks account, I have LVS, RIDE, and ARC-F. We can talk about those later, but these would be the pros. What are the cons? What are the cons of closing early, if closing today? Well, I'm missing out on some premium. So I have received $750, and now I'm giving back 12 cents. So I'm giving back $120, right? So this means I'm missing out on $120. But here's the deal. This is for the next, what do we have today? Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So for the next 4 days. So the premium per day here is actually only $30 premium per day. But here's the deal. If the market keep going up, I might not have an opportunity. So I might not find another trade tomorrow, and therefore it would be better if I kept this one, because then I'm at least milking another $30 instead of nothing. Because if I'm closing the trade today, there's no way that I can get any more premium here on this trade and taking advantage of the theta decay. So what is the solution with all the pros and cons here? So what do we do? Well, for me personally, here is my rule of thumb, or my rule that I do, okay? And this is, I will close a trade early if I can close it at 90% of my profits. So in this particular example, if you look at this, so I sold it for 75 cents. So the idea here is, if I can buy it back at 7 cents, this is when I'm keeping 90% of the max premium, right? And I will do that until expiration day. If on expiration day I have not been filled, then I usually let it go, because on that day I usually don't enter another position, and therefore I might as well keep the remaining premium. So even if on expiration day it is still at 7 cents, right? Because 7 cents here means that it is $7 times 10 contracts. So this would be $7 if I keep it another day. And of course, if I see a trade, I would actually close this and enter the other trade, but you get the idea. So the basic idea here is, does it make sense to close a trade early? Yes, and you need to look at the premium per day. And this is why, so here is what I do to show you exactly. As soon as I get filled on my sell order, and here it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I'm selling puts or whether I'm selling calls. I put in a GTC order, which is good till cancel, for 90% of my profits. This way, the whole thing is on autopilot and I don't have to worry about a thing. Well, hope this was helpful. If you don't know about the wheel strategy yet, I'll have a few videos popping up on the screen right now for you that shows you more about the wheel strategy. And also, I have a video that shows you how to pick the best stocks for the wheel strategy, and I'll link to this also here and in the description. Hope that helps, and talk to you later. Right, now as promised, so this is why I wanted to do this, so that we can first talk about this topic, and then we'll have all of the other topics that I have here for you. As you can see, well, we'll talk about, okay, wheel trades, when to close early. I'll do a review of your trades. I'll show you what I did if you haven't seen it in the stock market update this morning. Anyhow, so good to see you here. And yes, by the way, I know that some of you said, well, one of the things in Mighty Networks is that you couldn't let me know whether you like it or not. So good news. You can now click on like again if you want to, if this is helpful here at all. Okay, good. So Dom, we can take a look at AMAT here. This seems to be behaving well. All right, good. The audio is good. I see it. And you see, this is where it's a bit easier right now to actually, yeah, bring in the comments. And Thomas said, I made that trade too. Good, good, good. Hoplofield said, same trade, but didn't get quite the premium. Well, this is where, again, you look at the calculator and you see what makes the most sense, right? So let me bring this back. Well, right now it's a little bit difficult to show you how much it was. I believe it was 37% annualized when I entered that trade. Good, good, good. All right, so Stephen will talk about rescue missions here in a moment. And Thomas, this is an interesting comment. You pay closing commissions too. It depends. It depends on your broker, right? So there are some brokers, for example, Tastyworks, they do not charge anything for closing a trade. They only charge it for entering a trade. Now, the broker that I'm with, Tradier, it's a flat fee per month, right? So you only pay $10 per month and you can have as many trades as you want. See, this is almost where it's like the all-you-can-eat buffet. You pay once, and then it doesn't matter how many trades you make or how many times you go to the buffet. But if commissions are still a major part of your commission structure with your broker, that is, of course, something to keep in mind, right? And but again, looking at the premium today per day, it often would make sense even if you close it. Now, admit it. If you're paying still 65 cents or something like this in commissions, then they definitely eat into this. So commissions these days should not be a major factor for you anymore, and I hope that they don't, that they are not. Yeah, Nazi, exactly. Trader, there's no commissions, just the regular fees where you have the NFA fees that you always have. Okay. Well, Bonnie Bites, so one of the disadvantages of YouTube is that I don't know your real names anymore. On Mighty Networks, I knew your real names, but no worries here. So Bonnie Bites, okay, great. Good, and Nicole is already posting it, the link here, how to find the best stocks for the wheel. Okay, so what I would like to do is right now review some of your trades because let me just come back here to the screen share. I logged into Mighty Networks, and this is where every day, as you know, Clay is posting the question Monday, April 4th, which is today, where I say, what wheel trades are you taking today? And I thought I wanted to go through a few trades that you posted here and just give you my feedback. I mean, let me just ask you, do you find this beneficial? If so, give me a quick thumbs up. It's easier than writing yes in the comments because then I just see a bunch of yeses and I might actually miss some of the important questions that you have. But if you find this helpful, if I'm going through some of the trades here, let's do this. Okay, see that there's a few thumbs coming up, and let's just talk about these and let's jump on the screen. So Monty, for example, says, from a trade I took months ago and rolled, I was assigned on Friday at LL. So let's take a look at LL at a trade here overall. If we look at lumber liquidators and see if this is a good candidate at all for trading the wheel strategy. And this is where right now we're continuing a little bit the discussion that we did in the previous Coffee with Markus, where I explained to you my 4-step process of how I find high quality stocks. And so let's take a look at this. So number one, we want to know, is this a stock that you want to own? And this is where I like to go to finance.google.com and take a look at LL. And there's a few things that I'm looking for lumber liquidators here. I want to see, what is the PE ratio? Okay, 10, that's good. I want to see a PE ratio of below 50, or I would be willing to go up to 100 here. No dividend yield means that recently they did not pay dividends, which is probably fine. Some companies stop paying dividends. We're looking at the annual growth, and we see they're hanging in there. So they're making a little bit over $1 billion in revenue every year, $1.15 billion. And they do have profits, and over the last few quarters also looks good. The revenue is going a little bit down, but nothing too concerning. Okay, so is this a stock that I want to own? Yeah, I would say this is a value stock, but let's take a look at a chart. And what do we see here, right? So at a chart, we see that pretty much since the beginning of 2021, so all of last year, for more than a year, this has been in a downtrend, right? And I don't like to trade stocks that are in a downtrend. So therefore, this would not have been a candidate that I would have traded. And I understand, Monty, that you said, okay, we have been in this trade here for a while, and that is okay. But I hope that you didn't enter it recently, because just looking at this, it's kind of a stock that went crazy, right? During the pandemic, it seems that everybody wanted to renovate their house, and so lumber liquidators shot up from what? Around pre-pandemic, around $10 to $34 at 300%. Now it's coming down to a more reasonable level. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's a few other trades. So Michael actually sold some Macy's. Now I can already tell you, you know it. I told you that last week I did trade Macy's. It didn't come up for me this morning on the scanner. So last week I sold the 2350 put expiring on Friday. It expired worthless. But if it did come up on the scanner here, I think it's absolutely a good candidate. We ran through it last week, I believe, as an example. So who is it, Michael? Good. I think the 2450 call. Oh, you did the 2450 call, so you got assigned. Okay, I want to say for a put, that would be a little bit too aggressive. All right, so Anthony actually took Hog. Let's take a look at this, right? So let's go over here and let's take a look at Hog. Harley Davidson, owner group, Harley Davidson. Okay, so you decided to trade this last week. Okay, let's take a look at Harley Davidson. Do a little bit of research, not too much. Okay, low PE ratio. They are paying a dividend. Good. So let's take a look at the annual profits in 2020. Like most companies, they suffered, but overall, it is looking good. Looking at the quarterly numbers, okay. So the last quarter here was a little bit weaker than the quarters before, as you can see. But overall, I would agree. So this is where, you see, for me, what happened here recently, if you look at this, has been kind of crazy, right? So if you look at the last 6 months, actually, we see this one super long bar. Do you see this? I believe that this is where they announced that they are splitting off their electric bikes to a separate company and keep all the traditional bikes into Harley Davidson and have another company. Then we also see that after the earnings call, it kind of went crazy, and they went from what, $36 to $44. Now that's a pretty big move here, even for Harley Davidson, right? So therefore, I would have been probably a little bit hesitant here, but if you took this at around a level of 36, you're probably in good shape here. So let's just see which one. 37.50. Okay. So 37.50 is right here. I think this is a little bit more aggressive. So if at all, I would probably be closer here to, what is this, like 35? I like the 35 level here a little bit better. Maybe which level is this here? 35.50, maybe 36. I think 37.50 here was a little bit too aggressive, at least for me. Okay. All right. John actually took profits on TQQQ. TQQQ is a leveraged ETFs. I do not like to trade leveraged ETFs. All right. Let me just come back here to you and let me just see if this is a little bit helpful here. If we are going through the trades. Okay. Just to give you a little bit of feedback here on the trades and what I would have done or not done. And then we can take a look at some more of your questions here. So one of the questions is any info of if Tradier is going to offer portfolio margin. They are going to offer it, and they should actually offer it this quarter. They said target is April. I'll follow up with them. I'll call Dan and see where they are right now. Okay, cool. And let's see. Mark says, is Tradier for Germany, for Germans available too? Yes, if you are trading as an individual and not in a company. If you're trading as a company, I believe it's not available. You have to contact them. It's a service at tradierbrokerage.com. You can find it on their website, tradierbrokerage.com. Contact them and just ask them. But I know many Germans who are with Tradier, but I do believe, at least as of last year, and I haven't heard anything this year, but as of last year, if you had it in a company name in Germany, it was not possible. For some weird rules and regulations that I do not know and understand. But yes, it should be possible. Okay, good. All right, and yeah, there's like mastermind for us commoners. So in the mastermind, as you know, this is where we are doing this in the mornings when we are trading live, right? Before you take the trade. So here it's a little bit in hindsight because from what I understand is that John already took the profits. Anthony already took the trade last week. Who else? Michael took the trade last week. Monty took the trade last week. So it's a little bit in hindsight, but I hope that you find it helpful. And yeah, that's what we do pretty much every day. So before you can get in trouble, we look at this and I'll give you my feedback and say what I think about this. Cool. Okay, so let's see. And yeah, from Tradier FAQ, for margin trading, the minimum is 2,000. Yeah, but if you want to sell puts, $10,000. And honestly, if you want to trade the wheel, it doesn't make sense to do it on an account smaller than $10,000. I would say $10,000, then you use a margin account. If you're comfortable using margin, this gives you $20,000 in buying power. And this way you can trade a few lower price stocks like, what did we have? Macy's and I think we had recently a few others. I think DB, Deutsche Bank, or Bank of America. These were a few good candidates that came up here. All right. Hey, Coach T, Teresa is here. All right. So good to see you. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't know, if I see here Thomas, who is part of our mastermind, Teresa is part of our mastermind, Kathy, you guys can't get enough of me. We just this morning spent 2 hours together because we have the virtual boardroom here this week and didn't find anything to trade today. So let's just run through a few trades that we actually did last week together. So last week, I want to share my screen again so that we can see a few of the trades. So let me just make sure. Last week, I traded AMD. I believe I did that on Friday. Oh, yeah, we just used that as an example. Duh. Okay, so I did that on Friday. This is looking really good. I think I might be able to close the position tomorrow. Today, I didn't quite get the 90% profit. That is according to my rule, as you can see. And we'll also post the notes here for you. So yes, as always, you get these notes. And so I didn't close it today. So this is one of the trades that I did. Then the other trade that I did is TPR. I believe I did that on Friday. So I sold the 37 put, and TPR today has been moving a little bit lower. So if we go here and zoom in a little bit, you see that TPR right now is trading at 36.22. So markets are closing in 4 minutes. So we will see. I mean, I don't mind getting assigned on this one at all because I have been trading this one, as you know, in the beginning of the year for 2 months and collected more than $4,000 in premium right at this level. So not bad at all. Let me just see. What else? What is another trade? Oh, yeah, DB, Deutsche Bank. I did that a little bit earlier. I think I did it last Wednesday. So Deutsche Bank sold the 12 put expiring this Friday. And if we zoom in here a little bit, see that Deutsche Bank is very solid trading about this. So I might be able to take some profits here as well, maybe tomorrow using this 90% rule. Now, Mark entered Bank of America on Friday. So on Friday, he sold the 39.50 put. So as you know, Mark, you all know Mark, right? We have been trading Bank of America for a while. He thought that this is pretty good. Let me just get rid of the volume. This way it's a little bit easier for you to see. So he liked Bank of America a little bit better than Deutsche Bank. And again, this is where we're going to the asset correlation. When Mark said, well, I'm trading BAC, I said, well, I'm not trading BAC because there's a super high correlation here between Deutsche Bank and Bank of America. No surprise, right? A correlation of 0.7. That is fairly high. That is very highly correlated. So that's why I did not take this. All right, let me come back here to see if you have any more questions or comments here. Kathy says no such thing as too much Marcus. All right, so this is a great question. Once you enter a trade, do you exit early even if in the green bars is flat to long? Okay, so that's a great question. And we got to make sure that we understand that there's two different strategies. One is the Power X strategy and the other one is the wheel strategy. So what you're probably referring to is the Power X strategy, because that's where I look at green bars. For the wheel strategy, if you're going back here to the charts, and so even though we use the same coloring here that we use for Power X, I'm not paying attention to the coloring here. We just decided to use it. Now for the Power X strategy, you have 3 possible exits, right? I mean, you have a profit target, you have a stop loss, and you have a black bar. So, but these are, I mean, it's a great question, but these are 2 different questions. And let's just see, do you exit early even if the green bars is too flat too long, tying up buying power too long? Again, I believe that this is a question for the Power X strategy, and there are 3 exits: profit target, stop loss, or a black bar, right? So that's what we are doing here. All right. So Bruno, I know it's you, Bruce. Is it you, Bruce? I think it's you, Bruce. This just looks too familiar. The smiley face. So CSTM looking good at 1650. Why not? Let's take a look at this really quick, and let's take a look at CSTM. What is this? Constellium. Okay. So 1650. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So what CSTM is doing. Is this a stock that we want to own? So going a little bit through this here. Okay, P ratio of 8, that's good. No dividend yield, meaning that recently they did not pay a dividend, which is okay. Looking at the annual, what do these guys do? So let's just see. It's a global manufacturer of aluminum rolled products. Okay. And so it serves the aerospace, automotive, and packaging sectors. The reason why I wanted to look at this because I think, whoa, these profit margins are super slim, right? If you look at this, they're making what $6 billion. Here we can zoom in. So they're making $6 billion in revenue, and the net income is only $257 million. That's super slim margins, right? But apparently they have been running with this business model for many years, quite successfully, it seems. Yeah, there it is. The net profit margin is only 4%. Ugh, super slim. That's worse than retail. It's worse than retail. So, yeah, I mean, that's not bad at 1650. Yeah, so you see here, that's a good point, Bruce, because this has been going sideways, right? So if we are going sideways, that's what we are looking for. This is way different than LL Lumber Liquidator that we looked at earlier. Look at this downtrend, right? CSTM going sideways, right? So that's actually what we want. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad trade. Would I take it? Don't know enough about CSTM. I think it's a good trade. Keep in mind that right now aluminum prices have probably shot through the roof. So if we look at aluminum prices, how do you spell this? An NRI? Let's see. My trading view has become really slow and unresponsive. I'm not very happy with this. There it is finally. Something like this. That's how you would spell it. Let's just see if we find the prices of aluminum, because I believe, like with nickel and everything else, with the war in Russia, there it is, that these prices have kind of exploded. Let me just double check here really quick. And again, I don't know why TradingView has become so slow for me. As you can see, I don't even have a bunch of indicators on there. I only have 4 indicators. Okay. So it's not too bad. It has jumped up. They're trading at elevated level, but this here looks super similar to a crude oil chart, doesn't it? It almost looks like crude oil. So my concern would have been if aluminum has gone dramatically up, right? Their cost probably would go up even though they're hedged. But I'm over analyzing right now, and this is how I know for myself when I start over analyzing something that it's probably something that I shouldn't be trading, because now I'm either talking myself into it or out of it. Okay, good. So let's see. All right, so this was this one. David says reviewing the trades is helpful. Also, it does keep us out questionable trades. It helps us for the next one. Yeah, and that's my goal here, right? So that I'm helping you reviewing a few things. We can take a look at a few more trades as there are no questions. I'll be happy to go back to Clay's post and see what else you have been trading, letting you know. Okay, so I think going through the trades is helpful. Oh yeah, I know that Teresa, our amazing community manager and mastermind coach here, is getting tons of questions. Yeah, Jerry Ewing says, how can we say that we have a strong economy when we have high inflation and high gas prices? We shall see, right? I mean, so this is where we don't want to get into too deep. We do this usually in the mornings, but the Fed has the dual mandate of, number one, keeping employment high. And I think in this category, they're doing a really good job. I think unemployment rate just ticked lower. Is it 3.6 or 3.8%? And number two, they have to keep inflation under control. And inflation is kind of out of control. So we'll see what happens here with the next CPI. But you see, you can have really low inflation numbers and high unemployment. So it's a super balancing act. And this is where the other day, Mark and I talked about this hawkish and dovish, right, that the Fed is. So when the Fed is hawkish, right, they're actually tightening the money policies. So this means that they want to get inflation under control. And by doing so, unemployment might tick up. And on the other hand, we know that the Fed is dovish, like a dove, right? When they're loosening the money policies. And this is when usually there is more employment available. So unemployment goes down and inflation goes up. And it's a fine line, right? To have this balance here between inflation and low unemployment. And that's actually their job. That's what they need to do. All right. Good, good, good. Let's see what else. On the Powerex strategy, is it better to open a position when the long-term indicator is in an uptrend? For example, above the EMA 200. We did a lot of tests on that, and we couldn't find any correlation that it is more advantageous. So if you would like to do this, this is why we now offer indicators on the Powerex optimizer, right? So you can plot your indicators and use this as an additional filter. We haven't found any significant advantages here. And yeah, Thomas says aluminum. This is how you spell it. Okay, production needs a lot of energy. Clear cache and browsing history. I'll do this. I don't do it right now, but we do this later. Okay, Rick said, what is driving some of the recent tech duds? Pins, Snap, DDD apps today. Let's take a look at these. I mean, with my super slow one here. So pins, Pinterest. Otherwise I switch over to the Powerex Optimizer because with Powerex Optimizer, I don't have these problems. Maybe I can just clear my cache really quick. Well, I don't want to do this while we're live. Who knows what happens? Okay, so let's zoom out. So Pinterest. Yeah, it has been slumping for quite a while. And I don't know exactly what their money model is, right? I mean, we know that Pinterest is probably, are they making any money? Let's quickly check. Let's see. They have a PE ratio. When they have a PE ratio, so that's a pro tip. Whenever they have a PE ratio, because this stands for price to earnings, it means that they're making money. Because if they would not make money, they would not have a PE ratio. Okay, so they are making money. So they lost money in 2017, 2018, 2019. So they're pretty new to making a profit, but it actually looks pretty good. Okay, I'm a little bit surprised by this. I didn't think that they were profitable just yet. I would have considered them more of a growth stock than a value stock. And looking here at the growth that they had from a few hundred million to now 2.5 billion, that's a 5x in 5 years. So that's not bad at all. It's almost doubling every year, right? This year from here, doubling every 2 years, let's say, from here to 1 billion, then to 2 billion. So it's definitely a little bit more in the growth. So I do not know what exactly is causing this. I think that maybe with all the social media stuff that we have out there, that maybe there's some consolidation at some point. I mean, let's think about it. How much social media can you use before you go crazy, right? I mean, you have what? Facebook, you have Twitter, where Elon Musk just bought a recent share, pretty stake in there. You have Snapchat, you have Pinterest. What else? You have YouTube, also counts as social media, right? And then there's TikTok. There's probably ton of other platforms, right? Platforms like Rumbler and other, I want to say smaller, thus far smaller social media platforms. And you never know. So how much can you divide your attention? And this, I think, one of the challenges that these platforms have is how many more apps can you install on your phone before it drives you absolutely crazy. But yeah, Thomas says Pins is still a growth stock. I believe so too. And this is what we are seeing here. So probably the same with Snap and apps. So we shall see. Okay, well, we have a few more minutes. If you don't have any other questions, let's just go through a few more trades. What do you say? Because I wanted to see what else is going on here. What else are you doing? And so we do have... So John did the TQQQ trades. So Mark took 90% profit. So Mark traded a NEO. Okay, well, this is where I think a little bit playing with fire here for a few reasons. I mean, NEO, first of all, is a Chinese stock. And as you know, recently Chinese stocks were in the crossfire. I mean, first of all, there was the talks that maybe they're getting delisted at US exchanges because of reporting issues here. And then also China has been cracking down on some Chinese stocks, right? I mean, the most famous, infamous probably go-to previously GSX. But also if you look at stocks that used to be super solid stocks like Baba, I mean, look at this. Baba going crazy, PDD, Pinduoduo, JD.com, which is basically their Amazon, the Chinese Amazon. I mean, all of them have been hit here. So this is why I would be a little bit careful with Chinese stocks. In the mastermind, we like to stay away from these Chinese stocks because see, they're also falling. And it could be that the Chinese government at some point says, you know what? We think that you should give electric cars to the people of China without making a profit. They did that with GoTo, right? So GoTo, an education company, if you look at that, and if you go back, see, so at some point the Chinese government said, you know what, you're an education company, you should not be making any money as an education company. And that's pretty much when they slumped from what I mean. They were been in trouble before, but you see, this is why right now they're trading at what, $1, $2, and I know that some of you traded that before and got stuck in there. So I would say stay away from Chinese stocks. So this is my comment here to Mark on NEO. PFE. So last week he sold the 55 call. So let's take a look at PFE. Pfizer. Pfizer. Okay. Good company. You sold the what? The 55 call? Oh. Okay, was that a call? Sorry. So you probably got assigned. No? Oh yeah, he sold a call. So at some point, Mark got assigned here. So this for me, it's a little bit difficult to see support. That's where we go back to what Bruce said earlier. So if you go back to CSTM, see, very easy here to see support. Yeah, and on PFE, a little bit more difficult to see support. See, this is where I like to trade stocks where it's a little bit easier to do support, to find support levels. All right, what else do we have? Fernando, our mastermind member, AMAT. Okay, did you sell that today? I think he mentioned that he sold it today. Let's take a look at AMAT. Amat, okay, you sold the, let's see, which one? 121. Okay, let's take a look at this. So sold at 121. Don't get distracted by this. There's something that I had from previously. Okay, right here at support. Nice trade. I would agree. Good. All right. What else we have here? Let's see. A couple of more trades, and then we can wrap it up. So, Matthias sold Twitter calls. Okay, so this means that Matthias owned Twitter. Okay. So at some point, Matthias, you probably traded Twitter and got assigned here. So good for you that it popped today, that Elon Musk actually helped you out, because otherwise you are catching a falling knife. Look at this, right? So this is pretty much like Lumber Liquidator. You're trading a stock that is in a downtrend. Trade stocks that are going sideways. There's plenty of stocks that are going sideways. You don't have to do this. So here, if you were in Twitter, you got stuck. And I really hope to God that you did not sell naked calls, Matthias. So if you sold naked calls, this could be super, super dangerous, because you sold the 50 call. Let's see, where's Twitter trading right now? Oh my gosh, because if Twitter, for whatever reason right now, jumps up to 60, right? I mean, this will get expensive. This will get really expensive. And if they jump up to 70 or 80, so don't sell naked calls. That's the most dangerous thing. Naked puts is not as dangerous as selling naked calls. Way, way, way more dangerous here. Okay, so you don't want to do that. So I hope that you got assigned, and then yeah, hopefully you got helped out here by Elon Musk. Okay, cool. All right, so I want to stick with these Coffee with Markus, to our usual 45-minute format of hanging out here. So on Thursday, I'll actually be traveling, so I won't do one on Thursday. I might do one on Wednesday, or I might do one on Friday. I mean, this is where I told you that we are doing more of an ad hoc schedule. So let me check my calendar of what I have going on Wednesday, or what I have going on Friday, and then we can meet again. So I mean, let me just ask you, since we are still experimenting with this, so right now, I know that the quality is a little bit better. I know for those of you who like to watch this on other devices, our community manager, Andy Wright, said, I like to watch it on my TV. I think he's using Apple TV or something like this. So that's obviously easier to do via YouTube. Is this helpful? Is this good if you're doing this format? And again, we're still kind of behind closed doors, because that is a secret link right now that you can only get if you're going through Mighty Networks. And this way we're still hanging out, but we are taking advantage of all the cool YouTube stuff that I think YouTube has to offer without just being public, because we said, we'll just hang out here together. Cool. All right. Natsuki says, Friday, please. We shall see. We shall see. I'll keep you posted. I'll post it in Mighty Networks and let you know, and we'll send a notification. And you see, as I'm getting more into the rhythm here and we have found out what we are doing, we'll also send you emails again so that you know that a Coffee with Marcus is coming. Anyhow, hey, I'm enjoying this a lot. This is really so much better than thinking about the YouTube algorithm. This is why, see, right now I can go in Mighty Networks and we talk more about PowerX Optimizer, because I know that you all have PowerX Optimizer. So we can talk more about the tool and how to use it in the right way. Okay, good. Mark is asking, are you coming to Germany next month? Yes, we do have a live boardroom with our mastermind members in Germany in May. So we have a lot of mastermind members joining us there. So we're doing actually 2 groups because we don't want to have this group too big. So we do a group 1. So we trade with traders for 1 week, and we have around 30 mastermind members there. I think it's 28 or 30. And then we do a second week where we have a few more mastermind members coming. And so we trade with them the second week. All right. Cool. This is here perfect. Behind the scenes with Rick. And now we're behind the scenes with Marcus. Almost. All right. Hey, have a great rest of your day. Have a fantastic week. Make lots of money with trading. Don't be reckless. Wait for the right opportunity. And then when the right opportunity is there, jump in, take the trade. You know how to trade it. And other than this, have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.